Hello, welcome to the Daredevil Season 2 live chat. I sent out the 5 invitations to the 5 people that wanted or expressed interest in this chat. It's Cougarcomics, JayRox, Half Man, Half Amazing, Comic and Stuff, and then Comic Crack, Terrance. So those are the 5 invitations that I sent out. But before they show up, I can talk about other things. So welcome to my Wednesday live chat. This special edition is going to have a spoiler-filled discussion of the Daredevil Season 2 show. So if you do not want to hear spoilers, perhaps you do not want to hear the discussion once we start talking about the show. But until then, feel free to stick around and we can chat. Okay, it's Wednesday. Let's see. We are here. I am here. Oh, Ceasar, you still at work? Bummer. Well, if you want to participate in the second half season next Wednesday or Sunday, let me know. If you can't do it today. For now, you are still the first one showing up, even though you can't do it. Such dedication. I started watching the show Friday night. I saw the first 2 episodes Friday night, and then I watched the next 5 or 6 on Saturday, and then I finished it up on Sunday. We'll see. Ceasar, are you going to see Batman v Superman this weekend? I'm taking the family. Are you taking your kids if you're going? My wife and I are thinking about taking Anthony to the show. Bilbo Nuts is here. Hello from the UK. So I take it Bilbo has seen the entire season. Yeah, it's gonna be tough for me as a moderator. Terrance is gonna be running late. Comic Crack, so hopefully JayRox and Comic and Stuff will show up. If not, I will just have a regular chat and talk about the show, but non-spoilers. Okay, because I don't want to talk about the spoilers of the show without other participants. I will save it for maybe Sunday when Ceasar can join me. But for now, I think Terrance will definitely show up in about 30 minutes. He contacted me and said that he's will be late, but he will definitely be here. So I finished the show. I'm biting my lips, try not to say anything until the guests arrive. Bilbo, if you're still with me, I'm guessing that you enjoy season 1 of Daredevil. If I have to think about what I like more, I would say I like Daredevil season 1 more than Jessica Jones. I think some people may disagree with that, but I will leave my ranking of what I think season 2 of Daredevil is compared to the other during the show. Okay, we're gonna if everyone show up, I will see if we can all agree on doing the first 6 or the first 7, because it's 13 is an odd number, so it's not a clear cut to say first half of the season, second half. I wonder why. Does anybody know why a season is 13 episodes? Who came up with that number? You know, that doesn't make any sense to me why it's a 13. The number is 13. So for those who understand the rhyme or reason why Netflix show, I think it's beyond Netflix. I have seen other TV show on other channels doing this 13 season thing, 13 episode thing. Season 1 was a good start, and the handling of Ben Urich mentor to Karen was touching. Yes, I like Karen a lot. I think, I have seen that actress in True Blood, and I didn't think, I was not a huge fan or dislike her in True Blood, but but it was forgettable. In fact, the first time I saw her in Daredevil, I thought to myself, she looks so familiar. Where did she, because in Daredevil, her first few episodes, she did not have a lot of makeup on. She was very au naturel. Beautiful girl, beautiful woman, and compared to True Blood, she was more, sexy up for the show, but wonderful actress. I'm happy that they have her as Karen Page, for sure. Can't say any more without spoiling. Bilbo, are you going to see Batman v Superman this weekend? I think my family and I, my wife and I, will take our son. He's going to be 9 years old in a few weeks. Might be too young. I don't know. We're debating it still. He wants to go. Anthony wants to go see the movie. But if we're going to go see it, it will be Saturday. It will be Saturday night. And if we do that, I will definitely have a Sunday live chat to discuss the show, the movie. Okay, so for those that want to hear my thoughts on BVS, tune in Sunday brunch. I will have a live chat discussion of BVS. Ooh, can you imagine if Marvel and DC ever do a crossover in the movie? It would be bombastic, insane. I would not rule out never. Okay, I would not rule out never, but I think we are years, if not decades, away from that kind of crossover in the big screen. It would be interesting, It's the problem with movies, I think, is that a 2 hour, even 2.5 hour movie is too short to include in so many. Imagine a movie of like a Justice League versus Avengers, one of the crossover in comic books. I just can't see how a 2 hour movie is suffice. Okay, same thing with the Teen Titans, the Teen Titan and the X-Men, that crossover. The 2-3 hours is just not enough. It would have to be like a trilogy, okay, to have some kind of epic battle like that in storyline. But I just don't see how that can happen. A lot of moving parts. Ultimately, that's the problem with, it's tough enough for the two companies to do crossover comic books. let alone the big screen where there are so much money at stake. Balancing heroes versus foes. Who would you pit against each other? Ooh. You know, when it comes down to balancing heroes and foes, Nerd Vision, hello from Canada. We are global today, Canada and the UK. Tough question, Bilbo, because if you're talking about, in general, I'm guessing your question is in general, who I pick. Often I find that in many comic books, a lot of the storyline didn't do a good job in pitting foes and villains, and those that did become the more iconic titles. When you're looking at like street level characters like Batman, like he has his rogue gallery is filled with interesting villains that are very balanced to his skills, that play against his skills, and so it's not completely silly, as far as the storyline. Same thing with Spider-Man. If you look at Spider-Man, what makes Spider-Man a great titles and characters, and because of the stories and all the villains he has, they are well balanced with his skill set. And a lot of the team titles like X-Men, even like Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four suffer one of the biggest problems is, they face a lot of different villains, but I think they did a very poor job. I think for those that read the Fantastic Four over the many years, I don't think the story was all that interesting, because for the many storyline, it is always Reed Richard with his ingenious mind coming up with some kind of tinkering device to defeat the bad guys when the other three members are struggling. So in that, it's kind of, it make the Fantastic Four story less interesting. The one for the Fantastic Four, what make some of the best story is when they had to face like Galactus, something that is bombastic, huge. But for the most part, I think, for both Marvel and DC, often the street fighter, the street level hero have a better balance as far as foes. Looking at, hopefully I'm answering your question instead of like rambling like an idiot. But like Daredevil, very well balanced foes. Okay, from Bullseye to Kingpin to the Hands, even Elektra, you name it. It's good stuff. I mean, that's what makes Daredevil a good title to read, especially in the Bronze Age, when interesting villains was introduced by Frank Miller. But overall, I think when you look at like other superheroes, like Superman, the problem with Superman is he's so strong, so invincible, and that makes it very tough. Without saying too much, what do you think of the Hands and Kingpin alliance? I like it. Without giving away too much, I like it. Terrance is here. Terrance, you are the first one here, my friend.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Good. We just got in and Lily is eating, so I just had a chance to set it up.
Okay, we are going to give 7 more minutes to the other people. If they don't, well, Ceasar can't make it, so it's down to.
Okay. Hold on One sec there, Nick. Somebody wants to say hello.
Oh,
Say hi. Hi. Sorry, she just wanted to say hello.
okay. I remember when she was a baby.
It's true, when she was this big.
When, yeah, she was like a 6 months old baby when you held her in one of the earlier videos. Wow, time flew.
That's right. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we're just waiting a few more minutes. Some people can't make it.
Yeah,
Have you started talking about the show at all?
Not at all. I have been keeping mums about the show until we can start the chat. But believe it or not, I have been thinking about that sketch for the stamps.
Oh, good. Excellent.
And I have started.
Oh, excellent.
So I might be the first one done.
Well, that's good. Do you, well, maybe we shouldn't reveal it here, but you've started working on some drawings. That's good to hear.
Yeah, well, you know, I will have to wait to see what other people do to see where because I'm guessing that you don't care if there's any kind of uniformity as far as the drawing, right? I mean,
no, I mean, that's what I'm kind of, honestly, what I'm kind of hoping for is that everybody does stuff that's so different from one another that it kind of adds to the whole appeal of the book. I like the idea of people doing not only just superheroes, doing some alternative comic guys and that sort of thing, and the differing styles and all that sort of stuff. I think it'll just add to the overall feel of the book, I hope, anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, in many ways, that's why, that's what I thought. That's why after I saw your video this morning, I sat down and I doodled.
Yeah.
And it was like about this big.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I figure, you know, with technology, I can always make it, shrink it, expand it if needed, but at least it's not this big.
Yeah. Well, and that's my other thought too, that I mean, it depends on how much detail people want to put into their drawings. If they want to draw at a fair size so they can get more detail. And then when you're printing up your own book, you just make it whatever size you want, you know, so.
Yeah. We'll have a question here. Oh, well, his question is related to the show, so we have to wait a few more minutes before.
Yeah.
4 more minutes. Did not. Well, I sent notification twice, so.
Okay.
People didn't get them. They didn't get them.
Yeah.
But so before we go, have you finished the whole season?
I have, yes. Yeah.
So we can talk the first 7 episodes, okay? Because it's an odd number.
Yeah.
You've already seen all of them, just as I have, and I promised some people to do the second half of the season next week, but they can't do it this week. So let's do episode 1.
Okay.
Okay. And if you need to remind what episode 7 is.
Well, that's just what I was going to ask you next was what was episode 7?
Okay, let me go to my handy iPad real quick. Give you a quick recap of episode 7 so that we know where the stopping point is. Okay.
Yeah.
Because now it is within minutes.
Have you ever read a lot of the Punisher comics on your own?
What did you say?
Have you read a lot of the Punisher comics? Were you ever a fan of the Punisher series?
When I was, this is the late 80s, early 90s, you know, I bought a Punisher, all the Jim Lee Punisher.
Okay.
I bought the Punisher Warzone with John Romita Jr. And I had a couple graphic novels that I also bought.
Okay.
So I had a pretty good understanding and knowledge of the Punisher. So I say I'm okay with that. Certainly, like many books, you know, since the 2000 and forward, I kind of skipped that whole decade. So I don't know what happened to the character today, but I know what happened in the 70s through the early 90s.
Oh, okay, because that's my thing. I was never a fan of the comics, and I know very basic information about it. So that was one thing that I felt some of it was lost, that maybe there was Punisher storylines that were fed into the series that maybe I didn't catch on to, like that stemmed from his own comics. I don't know though, so.
That's a little bit of it, very little bit of it. One other thing that I mentioned in one of my videos long ago, even though I talked about how I thought the Punisher was a very easy character to adapt for TV.
Yeah.
The problem is, unlike Daredevil, he doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of great story to tell.
Yeah.
You know,
Kind of a one-note character, hey?
And he doesn't have like a rogue gallery that was interesting. You know?
I see. Okay.
Looking at like, you know, even like Iron Fist or Luke Cage or Daredevil, they have some. Well, Daredevil had the most as far as compared to like Luke Cage and Iron Fist. But when you're looking at like Punisher, like if you ask 100 comic fan of that, say who's the #1 villain for Punisher, I think 99 people be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some thugs, drug dealer, you know, some gangster, mafia, but it's not. He doesn't have like a bullseye. He doesn't have a kingpin. He doesn't have. That's why I'm not surprised that they have not launched or announced a Punisher series.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think the overall feel is people love him in the show.
Yeah.
Just that, you know, the writer is sitting there saying, like, how do we tell the story? You know?
Yeah.
But what kind of story can we tell without recycling the same villain?
That's right. Yeah.
That we use for, you know, Jessica Jones and Daredevil. So I think that's the dilemma that Netflix face. Okay, it's 7:30, so we're gonna go ahead. Okay, so let's what's episode 7 is where Elektra got heavily injured when they fight the hands.
Okay.
When they had that big pit and then stick down. That's the end of episode 7. So we can go all the way to that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me your overall feeling. Let's go with your first impression of the first 7 episodes.
Well, my first impression was that what I thought going into the show was completely wrong. My assumption was that I wouldn't really like the Punisher storyline or the character or that sort of thing, and that I would really like the Elektra storyline. That did it, especially the first 7 episodes, keeping in mind just the first 7 episodes, because again, that changed as the show went on. I found that I really enjoyed the Punisher storyline to some degree, and the Elektra storyline, I didn't dislike it. I don't know, I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, because I didn't really like her character that much, the way they kind of portrayed her, again, in the first 7 episodes. That kind of, I mean, I'm completely fine with not sticking to the comics. I have no problem with that. I'm not that much of a fanboy that it needs to be exactly like it was in the comics. I'm totally fine if they want to take liberties with that. I just didn't find her character appealing, and I know part of it, we weren't supposed to find her character appealing. That's kind of the deal. But I didn't find it appealing, but I also didn't find her interesting or her struggle interesting. Whereas the Punisher, I was surprised that I kind of liked it. I like the way it's portrayed. Like overall, I like this season a lot more than I liked the first season. I'll also say that I didn't hate the first season, but it just didn't blow me away like I was maybe hoping it would. But now that that first season is out of the way and I know what to expect of the show, I found I enjoyed this season a lot more than I thought that I would, which was great, which was a really good surprise. So, no.
I'm glad. I have to say that I agree with you because, like I said, we can't go beyond the 7 episodes, so there's much more to talk about with Elektra later.
Yeah.
But my overall impression of the first 7 episodes was, like you, it was not what I expected. I have a whole bunch of ideas like what the show's gonna be.
Yeah.
Punisher, and then from the very first episode, bang, I was wrong. And to be honest, the first episode, the first 1.5, 2 episodes worried me.
Yeah.
Because the first episode was the weakest of the bunch. And after watching the first episode, I'm just like, oh no, I hope it gets better because this is not as good as I'm hoping. And I can go into the a little negative. Okay, the worst thing about the first episode for me is the scenes where all the mafia guy gets shot.
Uh-huh.
I hated that scene so much because it was so silly. You get a bunch of men, the window is all painted so they can't see the outside, right? And bullets are flying in, and they're standing up like this, like a bunch of stuff. Like, come on, hide behind the desk. It was so stupid. I watched the show, it's like, whoever directed this episode did not watch the first season because it was stupid action.
Yeah.
That worries me a little bit. And then in the second episode where they fought him and the Punisher,
yeah,
sniper was missing. I'm just like, oh God, what kind of sniper are you shooting? They're shooting like 25 feet away, hitting the water towers, and it was just silly. They didn't know the sniper shooting, all that stuff. The fighting was good. But after that, very little complaint, as the rest of the show. As far as casting, how do you feel about the casting?
I don't watch Walking Dead any longer, so I think that any worry of associating, I don't know the actor's name that played the Punisher, any worry in my mind of associating with him, that other role with him is so far gone that I didn't find that an issue. That said, though, I wasn't crazy at times about his acting, period, but it wasn't to a point where I just couldn't watch it. Like, I thought his acting was okay. Everybody else involved, I'm just trying to keep in mind the 7 episodes that I liked everything. I liked the way that they took Foggy a little bit. I liked the way he kind of took charge, and you get to see his kind of self-confidence issues. I liked what they're doing with Karen Page. I liked that she was a little more involved in the story. And the other thing that impressed me too, just to kind of touch on that fighting tip, was that I thought the fight scenes, for the most part, the choreography was just heads and tails above what had been done before. And specifically, I'm thinking of episode 3, the infamous elevator, hallway, stairway scene was absolutely mind-blowing. It reminded me of, I don't know if you're a fan of like Tony Jaa. He did a movie called The Protector, and they have a stairway fight scene there that took them, I think, 2 months to finally get a shot of. It reminded me of that sort of choreography, even though this one in Daredevil, there was a lot of cuts and edits and everything. The way they handled some of the fight scenes, I thought was amazing. And in my mind, that really made it, because I feel martial arts is a big part of that whole world that he's in. And I was really happy with that. And then the casting of everybody else, I was fine with. There was nobody that stood out as far as that I couldn't watch them on screen, at least not to my recollection right now. There was nobody that stood out like that, so I was okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, the casting, I was indifferent. I didn't, as far as the actress that played Elektra.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw her in one movie, G.I. Joe.
Oh, really? Okay.
And she had a really small role with barely nothing.
Yeah.
But she surprised me as far as her acting was not bad. It was, and her action skills was awesome.
Yeah, well, she's apparently a black belt in karate in real life. Is that what I had heard? Yeah, she had some martial arts background, I think.
Yeah, she kicked ass. She's really good. The one, outside of the shooting thing in the first 2 episodes, the only other time where I cringed at the action scene was in episode 6 when they were in her loft or condo, whatever you call it, and the hand up, and he was way up high.
Yes.
When he jumped down and landed, like, that's stupid. In real life, you would jump off and land on the guy to knock him out.
Yeah.
I'm just like, so like I said, I'm nitpicking, but being the person I am, when I see that scene, that was the first thing I say, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have jumped off like 20 feet and land behind the guy and say, okay.
And just say, boo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Down and break his neck.
Yeah.
I would jump down with my full force and break his shoulder or something. Yeah. Like, I look at that scene just like, who wrote this scene? Because it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's just, but like I said, it's nitpicking.
Yeah. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get Lily out of her chair for dinner here. Hold on 1 second.
Bilbo, I'm glad you're still around. Karen Page, Punisher investigation helped to humanize the Punisher. It is. I really like Karen Page.
Yeah.
Involved. You know, I was surprised that one of the viewers that commented in one of my videos didn't like the show as much, and he said that it's not the Punisher show, it's the Karen Page show, because Daredevil was a cameo in his own show, and I disagree with that. You know, I thought Daredevil had plenty of screen time, and I felt the writer did a great job in balancing all the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. You know, I didn't think that Karen Page hogged all the stuff. You know, I mean.
Well, and I totally agree with that. I mean, and I think I come back to when you're doing shows like this, if you just make it the Daredevil show, or if you just make it the Jessica Jones show, or just the Luke Cage show, I think that with all of these characters, you're going to run out of story. You have to expand their world. You have to care about the world that they're in, and you have to care about the other characters. And I like the fact that they're trying to flesh out the other characters and not just make them like, here's the woman of the show, here's the best friend of the show. They're trying to flesh out the characters, which I appreciate. I mean, if you don't do it, I feel it's lazy writing. I feel it's just, hey, we're just going to do Daredevil. Forget about these other people. They're just on the sidelines. They don't matter. I like that side of it. It just made it more interesting that there was more storylines to follow when they all sort of tied in, and you know, I didn't mind it at all.
I didn't mind. I liked it. I mean, like I said, you know, after the first 1.5 episode, I was happy. You know, but by the third episode, I'm just like, all right, it's. I felt it a faster pace.
Yeah.
Season, it paced better, and it's picked up even more after episode 7. You know, I mean, this was by far my favorite of all 3 seasons of Marvel on Netflix.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And were you disappointed or surprised that the Kingpin was not really much of anything in the first 7 episodes?
I was a bit surprised, but seriously, when he made his appearance, it was unbelievable. I mean, we won't talk about it, of course, but when he finally did, it blew my mind. I loved the way they used him. I
was not disappointed. I was surprised. Like I said, you know, I thought for sure it would start out with him sitting in jail.
Yeah.
Shooting, but the way they turned the show on the first few episodes, I forgot all about the Kingpin. The Kingpin. In fact, when he finally showed up, I'm just like, whoa, what a surprise! Because I thought you're not going to be in the show at all. You know?
Yeah.
And so how they ties him into the story later was really well done. It's like I said, I'm super happy with this season, and I can't recommend it highly enough for anyone to watch the show, because it's a fine 13 hours movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. I totally agree. Again, it didn't blow me out of the water, but I liked it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
When are you planning to talk about the other ones? On Sunday? Is that when?
Tentatively, it's going to be Sunday.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be Sunday, it's going to be Sunday at 11 o'clock, like 10 o'clock your time, 10 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
When I do Sunday chat, it's going to be around that time, before lunch. But yeah, I had to say that, you know, as far as, you know, the Ninja, awesome.
Yeah.
The best thing for me about the show, even though we can't go into the second half, is that there's so much mystery.
Totally.
I'm dying to find out next season.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot.
That's the other thing I was going to say. If episode 7 was the episode where they discover the pit, right?
Yes.
When that happened, right away, I was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? So it was a certain type of show, and then they bring in this other element of like, what are they doing? It was great. Like, I think at that point, probably the same as you, it just kind of turned on me a little bit, as far as like, it really got my interest at that point. Like, what is this pit? What the hell is going on? There's the Hander in here. Like, what are they even doing? And then it just kind of evolved from there. But I thought that was really well done, the way they handled that. it transitioned really nicely from kind of what you've seen the previous season, bringing in a couple of elements, and then all of a sudden this big twist of there's a big hole in the middle of this building. What the hell is that about? You know?
It was not answered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is great, and that's fine. You know what I mean? It's just this mystery that you know is going to evolve, and that's again, that it all just goes back to that's kind of the writing that I like. It's like, here's a little nugget of information that we're going to get to, and the thing with this show is a lot of the stuff that you were kind of given teasers of, I feel personally that they answered them as they were going. I mean, obviously they still left some as a mystery, but I just like the writing in this. Whereas some of my issues with Jessica Jones, there were some episodes that were so strong and some episodes that were so weak that it almost seemed like different writing teams throughout. Whereas this one seemed to have a little bit more of a cohesive writing team, I guess, in charge of the season, you know, which was good. There was a couple of anomalies here and there, but overall I thought it was pretty great, you know, for the writing side of it.
Exactly. I agree with you. I think, you know, is it a perfect show? No.
Yeah.
But compared to season 1, it's a better written show, better paced show. I think it moved faster.
Yeah.
And part of it too is because it's more action-packed.
Yeah.
I mean, like from episode 6 to the end, there was major fight every episode. You know, it was not going to be. Let's see. I have a question here. Bilbo said, "Do you think Luke Cage or Jessica Jones will make an appearance in the next season of Daredevil?" I would say yes. I would say I don't know what the plan is.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that they're doing Luke Cage next, and then
in September, I think.
Yeah, and then you have Jessica Jones the second season, and then maybe Iron Fist, and then you might see Defenders. I don't know. I'm not sure what the map is. I just know that for sure I want to see Daredevil season 3. Mm-hmm. You know, I definitely want to see that more than, you know, even Jessica Jones season 2, because after this, like last season when it ended, it ended without cliffhanger, right? This season it ended with more of a cliffhanger.
Totally did, yeah.
So that's why, you know, which is well done. I mean, last season it was a nice wrap, because, you know, who knows, when they make the show, they don't know if there will be a second season, so they want to have a clean ending. But now that the show was a success, you know, the second season is going to kick ass. They leave you with a cliffhanger because they know season 3 is a must.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for that either, for the whole merging of all the worlds, all the different shows to kind of just merge together, and just the idea of a Defenders TV show and Iron Fist and all this. Like, I love that idea. I love that you've got kind of the movie world that's kind of the big superheroes, and then you've got this TV world that's kind of these, you know, second tier, I guess. I don't know if that's exactly how you describe them, but that sort of idea. I mean, it sort of matches with the comics, right? You know, you have the really big seller comics, and then you've still got the other characters. I can't wait to see it all kind of merge together. I think it's going to be great.
Devour7 said that he thinks Iron Fist will make an appearance over at Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. It would not shock me to see he appear in Luke Cage, because that's classic Luke Cage and Iron Fist. So see, maybe not, you know, the first half of the season, since they already cast him. I'm not sure they finished shooting, but I'm sure by the last episode you will see a glimpse of Iron Fist.
Oh, I would imagine, yeah, for sure.
It's a must, you know. I think it was very clever on how they already dropped all the nuggets to hide all the characters with the nurse, Claire.
Yeah.
Was that Rosario Dawson?
Yeah.
I like her.
Can I just say how much I love Rosario Dawson? Seriously, she is such a good actress. I absolutely love her in this show too.
She's great. I mean, and you know what makes the show good for me is that they don't overuse certain characters.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, when I watch a show, sometimes a good show like Daredevil, because they have such a limited cast, right? Because it's a small budget show, they don't waste a lot of scenes. They don't waste a lot of dialogue. So, you know, when you're on, you're on. You know.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, I think her character is so well written for the small role she played in other shows, and I like her a lot. You know, I can't wait to see when all these characters come together. It's gonna be very interesting because Jessica Jones is so different.
Yeah.
You know, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, so that's not a big stretch. But how they deal with that's gonna be tough. But what do you think of the relationship between Matt and Aaron?
Sorry, you cut out there a little. Between Matt and who? Sorry.
Aaron Page. What do you think about the relationship between those?
I liked it.
I was rooting for it.
Yeah. Sorry, you have to say that again.
I was very happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's very sexy. You know, I mean, it's that whole sequence of them walking in the rain and all that stuff. I'm just like, that's I give a kudos to that. You know, it's
yeah. I mean, it's, you know, it's a natural sort of thing. It's part of the story that I enjoyed enough. It didn't really. I mean, it was inevitable, right? It's that usual thing, and then yeah. Again, I mean, it's more. There's more to say in a Sunday conversation than I can say right now. But you know, I like that they went for it. And again, it's because I really like the characters. You know, did it seem sort of contrived? Yeah, sure it did. But I don't think that was a bad thing either. You know, so.
She's so
She wanted up to see what was going on here.
Yes. She wanted to see the weird man in the camera.
Say hi.
Hello. How old is she now? 2?
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
That's what I thought, because I'm just like, gosh, she was just like a baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's getting big.
Enjoy her now.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yes, Bilbo said the conclusion certainly opened up a new dynamic between Matt and Karen. Yes, save that, my friend, to Sunday. Save it to Sunday.
Yeah.
Bilbo is from the UK, so hopefully you will tune in Sunday at 11 a.m. so that we can have a final chat, which is it's been more fun because we can talk openly about everything.
Well, and honestly, I mean, it's the second half of the show that really blew me away. To be completely open with it, like the first half I enjoyed, but the second half there was so much that happened in there that just completely, I just absolutely loved. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's, you know, I describe the show as like a snowball rolling down the hill. You know, it's the first 2 episodes kind of slowly rolling, and then by the 6th, 7th episode, it's pick up speed, and then an episode is like full speed down the hill.
So I guess the other thing I could say about the first half, these first 7, the other thing that I think one of the other reasons why I like the Punisher storyline so much is that it kind of it moved it along at a good pace. I thought that before they got to kind of the trial or whatever, I thought that would extend most of the season, that would be most of the season. I really appreciated the fact that they kind of fast tracked that, you know. He caught Daredevil early on, episode 3, I guess, right? 2 or 3. And they had their exchanges and they had all their necessary dialogue about, you know, you're one bad day away from being me, that sort of thing. I liked that they kind of accelerated that so we could move past that, because I think that was my worry with the episode, that it was just going to be half of it was trying to figure out who this guy was as he was going around killing people, and then the second half would be kind of pursuing him and catching him. I really liked that they kind of just did it. Here it is. Here's this court case, and then moved on from there, you know. So.
Oh, now that you mentioned Punisher again, the other. So far, I named 3 cringe-worthy moments. Okay.
Yeah.
My 4th cringe-worthy moment was when the Punisher showed up in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
When with the shotgun and he was just like blasting. I'm just like, that's not how the Punisher. And you know, later he explained to what, you know, he doesn't just shoot somebody. He shoot to kill the person that needs to be killed. So
yeah.
For the hospital with a shotgun and just like blasting away. I'm just like, wait a minute. How can he miss? He's a Punisher.
Yeah.
The girl is 10 feet away and he's missing. So,
well, I think maybe that kind of ties into my question of not necessarily knowing the Punisher, because I mean, obviously, this is something that is early on in his realization of what he is going to become as a human being. Was that kind of portrayed in some of the comics? Did he ever have like a Batman year one, a Punisher year one, where he wasn't as polished, where he was a little? I know he had a military background, so maybe that negates any of it. But did he ever have any of that in the comics?
Not that I know, because in the comic books, if I go back, I might have to go back and reread it, but in his original run with Jim Lee, certainly there was a lot of flashback.
Yeah.
To the death of his family at the park,
mm-hmm.
But he didn't really evolve. I mean, he evolved more from the original, like when he first appeared in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That Punisher is so far off from the Punisher that we know today.
Okay.
But we can't really even compare that original Punisher that appeared in Spider-Man 129, because he was just like a hitman killer kind of thing. But he was always a like a sure shot. He could be like a death shot. And so for him to that's why, when you watch the second half of the season, there's a lot of hints to all the shooting. Right away, that's not the Punisher. The Punisher could not have used 85 bullets to kill somebody.
Yeah.
He would just have one shot, one kill.
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah.
So for me to see him walk through the hospital and blasting shotgun and missing everybody, I'm just like, that makes no sense. That was my fourth cringe-worthy moment when I watched the show. But other than that, it's the actor did well. I'm not crazy about his haircut.
Yeah.
It's not military. It's not. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
To me, that whole haircut he has is not even like.
Yeah, and like I said before, I'm not as crazy about him as an actor. I mean, it goes back to the same thing that I had problems with the newer Batman. When he becomes Batman, he puts on the ridiculously gruff voice. I found that actor did the same thing with the Punisher. Sometimes when he was like yelling, he had this kind of voice that was just like, But again, it's a minor complaint, because overall, like I said, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed the Punisher storyline. So
I agree. If you have a chance to watch the interview of the cast, on YouTube, there's a whole lot of interviews of the entire cast.
Okay.
On many different channels, like Google, to Yahoo, they have like all these panels where the 4 or 5 main actor was there for like an hour answering questions.
Okay.
Really well done. I mean, the way how the cast answer the questions and interact, I think it's really fun to watch. I watched it all day today. I watched 3 or 4 of those 45-minute long the cast from different channels, and
okay.
I highly recommend it if you have time to do that.
Yeah, I'll check it out tonight, maybe. Yeah.
It's been a wild ride. I have to say I'm so happy for Netflix. I give more credit to Netflix.
Yeah.
Because ultimately they that put all the risks and show they are. Marvel might have a say so in what to use, what character to use, where to go, but ultimately it's the writers that Netflix hire.
So is that the case then? Is it specifically a writer that Netflix has hired? So Marvel just kind of, here's the characters, use them, and then they're hands off for it? I know that we might have talked about this before in messages in videos, but
if I can find, there's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube from the previous season showrunner.
Okay.
And it's basically Netflix is the one that fork out the money, right? And so definitely it's their responsibility. But sure, Marvel have a say so in like what characters you can use, what storyline you can use, so that they don't mess up their movie universe.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's still Netflix that had to go out there and pick and hire the right people.
Okay. Yeah.
it's a cold thing, you know. It's Marvel have a say too, you know. Like certainly, you know, when it comes down to casting, both. Okay, it's because, you know, Marvel have a say as well as who they want to be hired to play certain. Because let's say if some actors is vying for a role and Marvel big shot say that guy is better for this character in the movie, so we're not gonna let you. So
Okay.
a lot of hands in there. Okay, when it comes down to hiring, line, but ultimately the core part of the story, the dialogue, all that stuff is the writers, the people that Netflix put together, you know. So it's a big thing for Netflix, you know, because hey, if you're gonna spend the money, you want a hands in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not a situation. I think a lot of people mistaken that, you know, it's not like Netflix say, here's $50 million, Disney, go ahead, make the show, we pay you $50 million to show on a channel. It's not that way at all. It's not like it's Netflix have a vested hand in creating the show because it's their money.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, you know, it becomes a part of their world, I guess. I mean, because I was having a conversation with somebody about it the other day. I mean, what Netflix shows have made it to DVD? I think only the first season of House of Cards or something. I don't even know, because I mean, it makes sense that they're having it on Netflix. They want to attract new people to subscribing to Netflix, so this is their own world. So they have a huge interest in it and making it successful.
Bilbo asks, I don't know too much about the Punisher, but does he have an allegiance? I say no, not that I'm aware of. Okay, now in the comic books, he has a partner, and that partner is hinted at
near the end, right? Yeah.
But in the comic books, he have a guy, a friend that drive around in a van, and inside the van is all kind of surveillance equipments and extra weapons, and you know, so he does have like a helper.
Yeah.
But that's about it. As far as allegiance, he's because really, you know, even at least what I remember reading, he was always an anti-hero that doesn't really fit with other heroes. He kills. You know, he's not the type that you get along Wolverine. You know, but I don't think I ever seen those kind of team up. They have appeared together in comic book, Wolverine and Punisher. I have that. But no, but you know but that boils down to why I think it's very Punisher TV show, because it will get real boring real fast if all he showed is about fighting the mafia or the mob.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean that's part of my, and that just kind of touches on some of my issues with the Netflix series. Period. In general, all of them, just the excessive violence, and I mean that idea of just having a Punisher show where it could just be episode after episode of him just killing people and mowing people down. Just that whole idea is completely unappealing to me as a TV series. It's just something I wouldn't watch, you know?
Yeah, you know, and that was my biggest concern about a TV show, even though, you know, oh, it's easy because, you know, he's low maintenance, no CGI needed for his TV show. All you need is bullets and guns.
That's right, yeah.
But when it comes down to storyline, you know, it's just like, what credible villains can you use that can run the whole season without recycle the Kingpin?
Yeah.
Or the hands. Not even the hands. He can't fight the hands. You know, so it's like I said, it's tough. But so I'm not surprised that that's been mum on Netflix and Marvel as part of the Punisher TV show. Comic Plus, you are here. The quest you have solved the whole season.
Right.
The show right now must have seen at least the first 6-7 episodes. Otherwise, you are hearing spoilers like crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Have we touched on everything? The music is awesome. I like the music. So
yeah, it wasn't bad, and And one of my big issues with music in general is when you really, really, really notice it. And I didn't find that it was intrusive. I thought it was used really well.
Yeah, I mean, it adds the tension.
Yeah.
Add to the excitement of the coming action.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like it probably a little more than you did. Because, you know, as far as, you know, after the first episode, you know, I had to say that this first half of the season exceeded all of my expectation. You know,
Yeah.
I did not know where the show was going to be, where it's going to go. All I know was, you know, the Punisher and Elektra, and they exceeded my expectation. You know?
Yeah. Well, and I think, and that, like I was saying before, I think that's what worked so well for me because I was sort of disappointed in the first season. I had no expectations, so it was pretty easy to not impress me, but it was easy to just, I didn't have any extra expectations going in. I knew what it was going to be going in. So if anything, it just exceeded that.
Yeah, I was surprised that they did not even have the Kingpin.
Sorry, Nick, you keep cutting out there. I can't hear you.
I said I was surprised that they didn't have the Kingpin girlfriend.
Oh yes, Vanessa. Yeah.
Vanessa, she's like completely not exist. Well, they mentioned her name a few times, but
oh man, Sunday, right? Sunday. I need to show up on Sunday, Nick, because there's so much that I have to say about the second half.
Well, JayRox, you just get home. Sorry, man, we're missing most of it already. We're gonna be done in about 15 minutes.
Maybe even I might have to leave a little earlier. Even Nick, this one is getting a little. She's getting a little fidgety down here.
Okay, if you have to go, feel free to go. I will stick around and chat with the people for another half an hour. But I'm glad you make it so that we can talk about it for a good 40 minutes. So hey, you know.
Yeah, and like I said, sign me up for Sunday. Just send me a notification. I'd love to join in again.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So, you know, while JayRox disagree with us that he think there are so many things that they can do with the Punisher, I would love to hear JayRox thoughts.
What he has to say.
Yeah, because really, you know, JayRox is a collector that are still buying new stuff. So that being said, because, you know, like me, I stopped buying the Punisher books since the early 90s.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the heck is going on with the character in the past 20 years. No idea.
The only Punisher series that I have is when the Frankencastle storyline, when I'm completely blanking on his name right now, the guy that's writing Low and did Fear Agent, Rick Remender. Rick Remender wrote a Punisher series, and he kind of dies and comes back to life. And I liked that idea because it was so absurd, making him like a Frankenstein type of character. And he included a bunch of monsters in it and stuff too. So that's the only Punisher that I know which is so far outside of the kind of the typical storyline, I imagine. So, okay, I'm going to say goodbye, Nick.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much for having me. It was nice to finally get to chat with you.
Yes, see you Sunday.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks, Nick.
Bye, T. And
bye.
I'm back with the people. JayRox, hello, John, the only one, John. I sent you 2 invite, JayRox. Let me set again. I have to go in about half an hour, so I can continue the chat for another half an hour. Let's see. Jay. Here we go. Invite sent. Bilbo, a series of The Punisher could work as a series of Clint Eastwood man with no name type story. Some cameo of Daredevil to help him, and that could work. Possibly, you know, it's just that you just have to find the right villains. I think that, you know, as with comic books, in my opinion, you know, when it comes down to good story, is you have to have a compelling villain that make a good story. So that has been my biggest concern, you know, with the Punisher. JayRox, I will check right now. Is it on Google Plus? I'm guessing Google Plus. I don't know. If I sent, I don't know. Ron Chang is here. How to grade for a 9.9 or better? Ooh, you got me there, my friend. I have submitted over 1,000 books. I stopped counting after 1,000, and I have never gotten a 9.9. So I don't know what to tell you. But then again, I don't submit moderns because that's where 9.9 and even 10.0 come from. It's modern books, okay? I submit Silver Age, Bronze, and some Copper Age, but it's not a surprise that I don't get a 9.9. All of them will have their own show. As long as Netflix keep doing what they're doing, because so far for me, they have basically 3 for 3. You know, first season of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and this second season, all 3 have been winners. For me, the second season of Daredevil is the best of the 3, as I mentioned earlier in the chat. Wonderful, wonderful. Bravo to Netflix for an awesome season. I can't say enough about how much I enjoy the show. I have rewatched some of the episodes. As much as I like season 1 of Daredevil, I barely watch. Well, I watch all the episodes, but I only rewatch 3 of the episodes. As far as season 2, I have rewatched almost the entire seasons. That's how much I like it. I had to rewatch it to make sure I did not miss anything. So that says a lot about how much I like season 2 compared to season 1, where I only rewatched 3 of the episodes. This season, I have rewatched 10 of the 13 episodes already because it's worth a second watch. Other than that, I did get some cool new stuff as far as comic books that I will show in future videos. I got a nice piece of original art. Nothing big, it's just a sketch that I will show in a future video. I think JayRox is here.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you, barely.
All right, here we go. All right, let me turn on the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Google Plus. That's why I couldn't find it on YouTube. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not finding it here.
Okay, so because you are new to the chat, we are only talking about the first 7 episodes. So we don't spoil the next 6 episodes. So the first 7 episodes ended when Elektra, Daredevil, and Stick was at the pit.
Okay, I only saw up to episode 5, I think, where Elektra barely appears.
Okay.
But we could talk about, you could talk about the other ones. I don't mind. I just haven't seen them yet.
That's all right. That's all right. So you can say whatever you want. Okay. What was your general opinion of the first 5 episodes?
Oh man, when it started, that opening scene when they're shooting up the bar and everything, that's like every Garth Ennis issue of Punisher. He always starts off like slaughtering a bunch of people, so you think it's pure like 80s action movie, but then the story starts to develop. So there's a lot of good I think there's a lot of good Punisher material where you don't need a strong villain to get a good story from him.
Well, like I said, I hope you're right, because like I said, the actor that played the Punisher did such a good job.
Oh, he was great. I thought he was awesome.
It would be a shame.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like him because of Walking Dead, but I don't watch Walking Dead, so I never saw him there. But I thought he did a really good job.
No, I think a lot of people hate him because he was such an asshole in The Walking Dead.
yeah, that could be it. Sometimes you get a reputation from one show, and they just want to see you as that character.
Yeah, it would be a shame to not have him return as a Punisher in a future cameo or show, because he did a good job. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that actor. I mean, he was okay on The Walking Dead. I was not like you know, goo goo gaga over him. So when he was cast as a Punisher, I'm just like, okay, no, but he did a good job.
Yeah,
You know,
I really enjoyed him. I didn't really like season 1 too much, but I was a lot more into the 4 episodes I've seen so far of this one. I think a lot of it is because I'm more into Punisher, but also because Daredevil comes off to me like the way they portray him. I never read Daredevil the comics, but in the show, he comes off as like a bootleg wannabe Batman. Like, don't kill, don't do this. I'm like, that's so Batman. Like,
oh, you know, yeah, this season is definitely better than season 1, no doubt. You know, I have yet to find someone that disliked this season or liked it less than season 1. You know, you're in for a treat since you only saw the first 5 episodes. Trust me, from 6 to 13 is gonna be a lot better.
yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Electro. I haven't got there yet.
It's gonna be rocking and rolling.
Yeah, because I love the whole Electro and the hand ninjas. All that is my cup of tea.
Going to be insane for you since you have not seen it. Trust me, I have rewatched episode 6 through 13 because
I gotta watch it today. I gotta try to see if I watch a few more. Man, I'm excited for Electro because I thought Punisher was great. The only thing is in that scene on the roof. I think that's from a Garth Ennis run story arc where he's on the roof. Daredevil's tied up. It was good that he explains the whole thing of, you know, why, we gotta kill these people because they'll just go to jail, come right back out, and which he made, I thought, like a good point, but I thought that dragged a little. They should have just got to the point where he's forcing them to shoot someone, like a little quicker.
I agree. Sure. Some of the weak point of the show is some of the Punisher speech was too long.
Yeah.
Even when he was in the hospital, okay, I'm like, get to the point.
Yeah, exactly.
To hear too much of your story, it's okay. But if I had any complaint about the Punisher was at least 2 of the scenes where he do a long-winded talk. It was
they dragged them out too long.
Yeah, one was on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
One was in the hospital. I'm just like, get to the point, dude. Okay.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
But that's it. That's the minor complaint about the dialogues. Other than that,
what did you think about the romance with that girl Paige or Karen Page or what's her name? I didn't like.
I'm like, oh, so sexy.
I didn't. I like her acting. I thought she got a lot better compared to part 1. I thought she was really selling the character better. To me, it was like, wow, she's so much better in the second season. Like, she has a feel for what she wants to do with the character already. But the whole romance with her and Matt Murdock, it seems believable to me. Like, I don't see the sexual tension there. It seems
Hit it.
Because I look at that and then I'm watching X-Files, and when I see X-Files with Mulder and Scully, I'm like, oh, just hook up already. And when I see them two, I don't feel the same way. I don't feel it.
I'm the opposite. When they were sitting on the stairway, I'm just like, hit it. Yeah, go upstairs.
When I see him, like, I don't know, maybe they need to put some music to set the mood or something. Because when I see them like touching each other's hands and stuff, I'm not sold on it.
What's so on the vein, touching the arm?
Yeah, I'm like, it has to look more believable, more sexual. Like, it looks like they're just acting. Like,
yes, well, we disagree there because I'm all in for the romance. Trust me, you will like it more. Trust me, it gets better. You're in for a treat. All I have to say is try your best to watch the next 8 episode. Sunday. Well,
yeah, I'm gonna try to watch I'm gonna try to watch 2 a day because I don't like watching more than 2 at once. I don't like to binge watch because I feel I don't really grasp it if I watch a lot of episodes at once. I gotta watch one and let it simmer, then another.
Oh man, I can't stop myself. I watched the first 2 episodes Friday night. And the first 2 episodes consumed me. I thought for sure, I was very worried. After the first episode, I was like, oh no, this looked too good. It just didn't feel right. And then the second episode, got a little bit better, and by the third episode, so I watched episode 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 on Saturday, and then I finished the rest on Sunday.
Yeah, no, that whole romance still has to. They gotta get me to buy it. They gotta, you know, I'm not buying what they're selling quite yet. Wait, with that romance.
Well, I won't spoil it for you, but all I can say is, if you thought the first 5 episodes have a lot of action,
Oh, it's definitely a lot more action heavy than season 1.
the next 8 episodes double that.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed right away. I go, wow, this one really picks up action wise.
Yeah.
It really has like a lot more action than the last season.
Yeah,
Because he's more like methodical and plans things out, and he's more professional. As for Punisher, he just runs through shit. He just runs through people and just shoots everywhere.
Bilbo said that I'm not sure I can take Matt and Karen bumping uglies like Jessica Jones.
Oh, Jessica Jones, I love her, and I think she really pulled off the character.
Yeah. What do you think? I forgot to ask Terrance. Do you like the new outfit of Daredevil? I do.
Oh, yeah. I got to that's where I left off at, where he got the new outfit. I thought it was dope. I was feeling it.
Yeah, it's I like the new look. It looked cool. It looked I like, you know, some fan might not like the look, but I love the look compared to season 1. I think it's an improvement. And he just looked badass. You know?
I like when what about when Punisher shot him in the head?
Oh yeah,
bulletproof helmet. I saw that because I was like, that explains, like, you know, his suit is like an armor. Like, they're like, yeah, you got a bulletproof helmet. Your head's gonna hurt for a while. You're losing your hearing. So it was more believable than he gets shot in the head and he's fine the next day.
Yeah.
You know, like he was having trouble hearing and he had headaches. Like, I like how they did that, and they explained, look, you have this helmet on.
Yeah.
And how that's in that song. They go, you might get a concussion, but better that than a hole in the head.
Yeah. It's very well, you know, and it makes sense because, you know, he's just a human. He's just a regular man, so he can get hurt. So his suit is like almost like a body armor, you know, because he can't take a lot of punishment like you know, like Batman can. Even Batman's suit is a suit.
That part I felt like it felt a lot like similar to Batman in some ways, because it's just a human in a mask that works at night, you know. But I like that part, how you said that, because in some shows that guy goes through a brutal battle, and the next episode he's fine again. I like that they show him recovering, and it's taking him a while.
He's all bruised up and limping around and all hurt. My only complaint about the show, even after the first 5 episodes, is that other people, how can they ignore the fact that he looks so beat up every day?
Yeah. You know, you show up to work beat up and bruised up all the time. People are gonna ask questions like, "What happened? Like, what happened to your lip?" You know?
Yeah, his excuse was, "I'm blind, you know, so I'm bumping into things." I'm just like,
no. Falling all the time. I'm real clumsy.
But trust me, that will be answered by the end of the season. You have no worry. I'm trying not to spoil it for you. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Sunday. If you can tune in, because Sunday 11.
I know for sure I'm gonna check out Google first, because it goes to my Google.
Yeah, you know, like I said, if you haven't finished the season by Sunday, for sure check out the video next week whenever, because on Sunday we will have I will have a live chat again talking.
Okay, so you're doing the second half on Sunday?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll try to watch 2 today, 2 tomorrow, and 2 on Saturday. That should be the last 6.
Yeah. Like I said, you know, try your best. Like I said, even, you know, if you can tune in, watch the rerun on Monday or Tuesday whenever you finish, because I think you will find the discussion much more lively, because the last 7 episodes is so much better.
Yeah, man. Did you ever read Carl Potts and Jim Lee's Punisher War Journal, the 80s run?
I have it.
Okay, yeah. See, there's some good stuff there too. There's some decent stuff. I don't think it's as detailed and current as like the Garth Ennis or Jason Aaron, but there's some good material there for shows too.
But that's the last thing I have. That part Jim Lee stuff is the last stuff that I have as far as well, I have some of the John Romita Jr.
Okay.
known.
With Chuck Dixon.
Yeah, I have some of that too. Like I said, I stopped buying, the Punisher stuff in the early '90s. So I have been oblivious of what's going on with the characters since.
Yeah. Oh, he has such good. I mean, in the '90s, there was a lot of. It was cool, but it was just action, shooting, killing. These are a lot more drawn out now. Like he deals with terrorists, and they talk about stuff like how they did in the 9/11 with bombing planes and all that. It touches on a lot of current events that came out at the time, stuff that was happening at that time they were writing those books in the early 2000s. So there's a lot of like realistic, good stories.
See, I was talking to a friend about like potential storyline for the Punisher because he doesn't have like like a kingpin or a major enemy like that. But I said that they can do a regular season for the Punisher if they took it into something that you just mentioned earlier, almost like a 24 TV show, like a terrorist thing where he could be like that character that fight the terrorists and take like no holds bar. Like you give me the answer, I shoot your kneecap. It's just he can go crazy. He can just be like.
Oh yeah, like if you ever watch Sons of Anarchy, or that movie The Kingdom, that's a lot of stories where you could just throw Punisher into the storyline.
Yeah, so it's possible. Like I said, it's not going to be the same kind of.
It's not a superhero show. It would be like something different.
It has to be like 24. Like
like Jack. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like Jack Bauer. Like it could be that type of show.
It could be the Jack Bauer to the next degree because Jack Bauer is really relentless.
Yeah, he's kind of an ass too.
The Punisher is even more than Jack Bauer, right? The Punisher is just gonna kick some more ass, tougher, meaner. But that's what you need. You need somebody like a Jack Bauer kind of storyline where, regardless if it's terrorists or whatever, he's just gonna go all out to get the bad guy and kill them all off.
You know what? That's a good comparison to 24. Yeah, just how you said, like storylines like a Jack Bauer type thing. I watched a few episodes of that show, and that's a good it's a good universe to put Punisher in.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm a big fan of the show 24, and I saw all the seasons. I mean, it's over the top kind of crazy because Jack Bauer is American version of James Bond. He's just
MacGyver.
I can withstand any pain level, any torture. He can kill anybody. He has like endless energy to do. But that's what you need. You need the Punisher to be in that world to do whatever he needs to get the bad guy at all costs.
Yeah, I think he's if they were to do a new story with him, or like a show, it would be once he's coming out of Rikers or whatever, because that's where Punisher War Journal starts, where he's just released from Rikers Island or whatever, and he's trying to start a new life, and he goes back to being a vigilante again.
Yeah. Bilbo asked, how would you feel if they brought a more Superman, fantastic type feel to Daredevil? I don't know. I'm not sure I understand your question, to be honest. If they brought a more I think I understand. Gore Vidal is like, good evening, gentlemen. I am a little late. We call Electro having much of a sense of humor in the comic, but I enjoyed it in the comic. I agree. We can't spoil it for JayRox. That part. So we cannot further with Electra.
I'll get back to Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to close this window over here so it doesn't lag so much.
Yeah, well, I have about 5 more minutes before I have to go, my friend.
Okay, no problem. Hey, what time are you planning to do this on Sunday so I could check my Google?
Are you on Eastern time zone? Or
I'm in Pacific time zone.
Oh, you in California?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's gonna be 8 o'clock your time. Might be too early.
Okay, so it's gonna be 8 in the morning at your place.
Yeah. Well, it's 11. It's gonna be 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, 11 Eastern, so it'll be 8. Yeah, 8 here. All right, yeah, just send me the invite, and if I should probably be up. If I'm up, I'll watch.
Okay.
I'll log in. If I'm not, I'll just watch the rerun.
Let's see. Go
Yeah, but yeah, this one was selling me a little bit more because the first season, I kind of struggled just to motivate myself to watch the next episodes. I was like, wow, do I really want to waste my time like watching this? This one that hasn't been the case this season.
Yeah, you will enjoy the next 7 episodes. I guarantee it. Okay, Gobi Dao said, and as I watched the budding romance between Matt and Karen, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting more and more on her. First,
I could not thinking about the sad and tragic love affairs Matt Murdock. Yes, it will be tragic. It will be tragic. Whatever, like I said, don't be too happy. Don't be too happy for Matt.
I just bought the book.
Which one?
The Frank Miller omnibus.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I hear it's good. So I like Frank Miller's 80s stuff. So I'm can't wait to read that.
You enjoy it. You know of course, the show is very different from the comic books.
Yeah,
So,
Whenever it's like that, I prefer kind of watching the shows before I read the books. Because if I read the books first, I feel it taints the show for me. Because now I'm gonna be comparing it to the comic. And when I watch the show first, I don't compare it to the books.
Yeah, see, for me, because I read all the books many years ago, I'm okay with the show being very different.
Yeah, you have to, because then it'll be a bunch of spoilers. You'll know everything that's gonna happen.
Exactly. So I'm okay with that. Daredevil is a realistic, grounded type where if the enemy start flying or shooting laser out of their butt, would that change our balance? I don't know, to be honest, Bilbo, because as you have seen the whole season, right? Potentially next season of Daredevil, you might have some kind of super extraordinary power kind of thing happening with other characters in the show. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about Daredevil being in a world with people that have lasers shooting out or superpower. But if they plan to include Daredevil in the Defenders with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, I trust Netflix will figure it out.
Yeah, I don't like that idea either of him dealing with superpower beings or whatever. Like Captain America in the Avengers, since he's the leader, but all of them can fly and have superpowers. He feels so outgunned next to them. It seems almost like one of them should be the leader. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. It would be weird, but it's one of those situations where I would say that I don't know how it's gonna be, but I just have to wait until the show happens to
see how they
do. Yeah. Ron Chang asked, any chance Daredevil next episode will be on DVD? I don't know. I think Netflix want you to subscribe and pay.
I think after like a year or two, like once they get their views, they release DVDs, because I think they released the DVD set of House of Cards.
Yes, they did. I don't know. If I don't have Netflix, I think I would sign up for like a 1 month and binge.
Yeah, $10 for the whole season is definitely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, $10, $9.95. I would sign up for 1 month and binge through the whole 2 seasons of Daredevil. That's right there is worth more than $9.95.
And you get, when you sign up, you get the first month free. So just cancel after.
Hey, you're speaking my mind. Ron Chang asked, what's your scheduled chat session? Well, this one is over in about 3 minutes because I do have to go. But it will be this Sunday at 11 a.m. my time, Eastern time. So if you want to see me in a live chat to chat like this, Next one will be Sunday, 11 a.m. Goa Vidal said, in addition to Frank Miller run, the Bendis, Marie, Brubaker, Lark run are excellent. I agree, my friend. I agree. In fact, I have a whole bunch of them right here. Oh.
Man, the art on the Bendis Daredevil is amazing.
It is. It's awesome. Look at this one.
Oh yeah, those have like really wicked art.
Wicked. I love the art in this book. I mean, it's Mali. That's how you pronounce his name, Mali.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the entire. I poured out this week to read it because it's been so many years since I read it, so I poured out again and read it on my desk here, and it's awesome. It's. I agree with Gore Vidal. It's a must read. Beautiful art inside. Winner.
Is it gonna use those stories on the show, the Bendis stuff?
We might. You know, who knows what. You know, I don't know what the next season is gonna be. All I can say is, this season ended with a cliffhanger, so that everything that happened will continue. Okay, so
That's good. I like when like in the TV shows when they the last episode of the season always leaves in a cliffhanger, so you're excited for to make sure you tune in for the beginning of the next season.
Unlike season one ended cleanly, right? The king can go to
story arc and started a new one.
But this one ended with a huge, massive cliffhangers.
It's always better that way. I love that. Even when a comic ends, I love it to end where it leaves you wanting more. Like, what happens? I must know. You know.
Cougarcomics, saw you late. No problem. Next Wednesday, we will have a regular chat. No talking about Daredevil. So we're gonna have a regular chat about comic books and whatever. So I will send you an invitation again next Wednesday. Any chance Daredevil will be on a big screens? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think you need them.
Yeah, I think Daredevil has done so well on Netflix, and he has found a home that I don't think Marvel has any need for him to appear on the big screen.
I think when you like a character, it's so much better in a TV show because they have so much time to develop them as opposed to a movie. If it came out bad, you have to wait 5 years till they fix that and do something different. In a show, you fix it up the next week.
I agree with you. I think I am a big fan of the Netflix 13-hour format because, to me, my problem with many superhero movies is that it's too short. You're trying to cram in the entire storyline in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Not enough. And my biggest gripe, I think most movies are rushing through the story and trying to jam in all the action and you know, I'm not a big fan of many superhero movies. I mean, they're okay, they're fun to watch, but I don't give them very high mark because I find that most of the story are just too rushed.
Yeah, me too. I think the stories are not as great. It's people to watch them for the special effects and the fight scenes, and watch Iron Man fight Hulk, stuff like that. It's not to get a great story out of it. And in a show, you could really develop a good story.
Now, before I go, did you like Jessica Jones, the TV show?
Oh, I love that. One of my, probably one of my favorite superhero shows was the Jessica Jones because it was just something totally different. It was just like its own. It wasn't. You don't even have to like comic books or superheroes, and you can enjoy the show.
Well, I'm glad. So, I have to go anyhow. Thank you, Jay, for jumping in. I'm glad you made it. Hopefully you can make it this Sunday so we can talk more because I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the second half of the season. Trust me, it's insane.
Okay, sounds good.
It will blow your mind. Trust me. I have not met anyone that did not love the second half of the season. It's incredible. So thank you for everybody in our chat room. Thank you, Jay. See you Sunday. If not, for those that can't make it Sunday, see you next Wednesday.
Okay, sounds perfect.
Okay, and Ron, If you have questions, you know where my email is. Feel free to email me with questions about comic books and things like that. But for now, the chat is done. Bye-bye.